Monster kill!
Battle begins.
Let's get a bunch of comfort heroes. They've got that Ori Storm, which has looked like probably the best Storm in this tournament. Of course, the man is Grandmaster on Storm Spirit, so a lot of games under his belt. They get Shen, Faceless Void, which is a China special. One of the only regions really favoring this hero and bringing it to the international scene. So, yeah, OG's got their work cut out for them.
And of course, the winner of this series, or if Aster wins this game, they will face off against Team Spirit in that lower bracket finals, and of course secure themselves at the very least top 3. Both these teams already top 4.
I gotta call Snake King out. He was looking at Taiga's cosmetics there in the game. He's just...
Oh, really?
Well,
I mean, there's something wrong with this skin. It actually hurts my eyes every time I look. If I have to lane versus, I might just forfeit the lane, honestly.
Pay to win, all right.
On the high ground, OG looking to perhaps get first blood here, but XXS is keeping his distance. They're coming in from the other side, though. And looks like they'll be spotted, so not sure this is going to turn into anything. But yeah, the Dawnbreaker Chen, you got some good heals coming out from Aster. They talked about the mechanic of the Dawn ult into Chrono. It now works, kind of. Unlike before, that would actually stun you before you'd even land. Okay, we can see a Wraithfire Blast connect onto Siamese Cat. He's completely surrounded, and first blood for BZM. That is the mid lane Pango. You're going to be very happy with that. Almost has his bottle already.
It's a huge kill because this matchup, Pango versus Storm, is a very even matchup, and every little thing will swing the lane. This Pango early bottle will enable him to farm a lot more and get his magic wand earlier against the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, a little surprised by Siamese Cat walking in there like that after seeing the smoke break, but I guess because it was just Seb that revealed from the high ground. I wasn't sure that it was absolutely everybody there.
So Ori facing off against BZM again. I love that we're seeing so many different heroes getting picked in this tournament. I mean, the Wraith King we get to see, very exciting, of course, now that he has more than one button. Although, I kind of missed that old one, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. But Taiga getting some D-Sentries here, but it's going to be reciprocated by Siamese Cat as well. But from a Dawnbreaker perspective in this off lane, as we're seeing the Wraith King winner, actually very good, obviously small sample size. But from Dawnbreaker's perspective, how does this lane look from the side of Aster?
Aster has a very strong lane, and they're playing for a lot of kill threat because all Wraithkin wants to do is kind of play the lane very slow and get as much farm as he can, whereas Aster's the ones looking to pressure and look for kills.
Yeah, I mean, you can Starbreaker the skeletons too, right? So, even, like, Aster's even okay just leaving the Dawnbreaker here generally alone, and he'll be fine. I think the Wraith King was picked for more of the game. It's a hero that can survive the Void Chrono, the Storm initiations, and play for these long fights.
Yeah, kind of an old school counter to Void, like you said, that ult being able to be used despite getting Chrono. So it's not really a target that that Aster's gonna want to actually go for as a result. But I'd be interested to see if he goes for a different kind of a build. Otherwise, we're used to seeing like the Armlet, Deso, Blink, BKB, etc.
This is a huge problem for Ori right now in the mid lane. He missed the sentries on the small camp, and he's not going to be able to farm it, whereas Pangolier will be able to farm it. And this matters a lot for Storm because he's a small camp maximizer, and this will really slow down his game. He's going to need another sentry from his support to be able to unblock this.
So that was, I assume, just a 50-50 that he guessed wrong?
I think he was trying to get the mid lane D ward as well.
Oh, trying to double dip. Yeah, I see.
Oh,
Yuragi, he's taking a lot of damage. He's going to get stun locked thanks to that Starbreaker, but the heal comes out from Taiga. Is it enough to save Yuragi? He's going to get the tree cut here.
Very nice.
Nice avenue there as Taiga helping him out.
Yeah, but there's no more regen coming from this Wraith King, and he's greeting up for the Helm, so he needs to just farm slowly until then.
I like this level 2 and Cold Embrace. Like, I know we see it a lot these days, but because he's going for the Helm, it's like another form of regen that can help him get to that timing. Like he'll be fine here even without regen.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the ways that Taiga can help with the Starbreaker combo, because if the Wraith King doesn't have a stun up because of mana, for example, like right now, he will be able to help him avoid the potential death.
And despite the small camp issues that you were discussing, Ori's actually doing just fine in this mid lane.
Yeah, he's playing this matchup really well. Penguin even had first blood, so he's out CSing him very hard on the lane.
Yeah, this is a little bit surprising for sure. And BZM just going for those boots. Has the raindrop in his his stash right now. See how aggressive they can be in this top lane though, because the Snapfire Dawnbreaker is pretty disgusting. We got the cookie to connect into the Scatter Blast as Yuragi getting chased, but XXS was the recipient of that Wraith Fire Blast. In fact, the Courier will go the way of Yuragi, but he will fall. So Aster get the more valuable of the two.
Yeah, and it's going to be a pretty hard lane for Wraith King. This top lane, they pretty much have no kill threat on Aster's lane, whereas Aster has immense pressure on them. So OG will really need to try to pull the lane back and just keep it even and play for as much level as farm as they can.
The one lane we have not really talked much about is this one. Snake King. Well, how do you feel about Elder Titan as a hero? I feel like we don't see it that much, other than Seb playing it.
Yeah, I think Seb really enjoyed this hero versus Chen, for example. It just gives him a lot of buffs on his Astro Spirit, and it's a pretty good teamfight hero overall. And besides Seb, no one has really played it this format.
Yep, Taiga getting stun locked inside his Cold Embrace, but he's super healthy. Now that XXS and company are very low on mana, we'll have to kind of reset here. But yeah, back to this lane. The Razor versus Void matchup. We've seen this before. And does Monet, is he happy with this? Since he can just time walk out of the static link every time? Hold that thought, is Yuragi taking some damage, but again, limited on mana right now in Aster.
I don't think I've seen anything that actually beats Razor in lane. It's only things that like kind of survive, and I feel like that's what Void does, because it is really hard to jump out of the static link. Like time walk is pretty short.
Yeah, the Razor and Viper this patch in the offlane is just immensely difficult to deal with, so people have kind of decided to draw the lane and kind of play for your mid-game timing, which is what Void is really good against Razor for.
Oh, we're going to see a roll already in the mid lane. BZM trying to go on top of Ori, but that was a bit ambitious considering Ori does have ult. So just had to get that complete stun lock, but didn't work out.
It does mean BZM gets the mid-room rune guaranteed. I think that's why he did that. He just wanted to make sure that he can guess the rune. But Siamese Cat, he's on the top lane, rune, and he does actually get it.
50-50 right there. Now see if we can do with this. Only a half HP right now, but that's the Cookie Scatter Blast combo.
TP's bottom.
Or a TP bottom. Big zip, but you can see OG having an idea that might be happening, so Ori have to walk back to that mid lane.
Sep is an excellent lane ward. They backed up the moment they saw this TP.
I think also BZM probably is calling that too. It's like, guys, like Storm just zipped back to base. Like he's going to make a rotation. You know that that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And Amar right now sitting on top 3 for net worth. It feels like every core is actually farming pretty damn well. The mid lane Pango just slightly above Ori at the moment. But not a whole lot of contesting of the farm right now. And only seen two kills thus far. And that's a little surprising to me considering that these lanes feel very aggressive in nature. Any Dawnbreaker lane, any Razor lane as well. As we can see the Cookie, it will connect, but not going to be a ton of follow-up considering Taiga's here with the Cold Embrace again.
Yeah, I really like this Cold Embrace build by Taiga, because their objective is to draw in this lane, and he's playing for it. This Cold Embrace allows the Wraith King to have a little bit more sustain.
And Cold Embrace, of course, Stuns fan, an S-tier ability.
Yep, so you tell me.
Very strong, level 1. Base health per second is excellent.
Thank you.
Yep. You're all weak.
Back to the game. But Taiga trying to find an opening here just to help Yuragi farm a little bit. And of course, this is a hero that can always just go back into the jungle if he gets contested. But again, doesn't feel like that is really the case right now. And Monet, are we expecting to see what kind of ability? Is he going to go for the old Midas that we've been seeing this tournament, or will it be the Mask? It looks like the Mask of Madness is the one queued up right now, so a little bit more traditional.
Yeah, this game, there's not too much abilities to kill heroes right now until this Dawnbreaker hits 6, and then it kind of play off of the Chronosphere and the Dawnbreaker ult. There will be a lot of kill threat on this Razor, and they can also use the Storm initiation of the Dawnbreaker follow-up. So it's going to be coming up soon. Let's see what Aster will do with this timing.
I feel like on Void, a Diffusal will be pretty good this game to burn the Wraith King's mana in Chrono, but I guess the Shard comes up pretty early. Snay, I feel like there's been a lot of good Diffusal games lately, but people opt to still go for like some Battle Fury on Ursa or like Void, Mask of Madness. Is there a reason that Diffusal has kind of fallen off a bit?
Right now, carries are kind of playing more for farm, and Diffusal Blade is not very good for farming, and they just kind of want to scale and let his team do a lot of early fighting, and carries just don't want to be too involved. And when you buy this Diffusal Blade, you're kind of committed to be a part of these fights.
Yeah, carries kind of like casually show up to fights now, as opposed to like, oh, I'm going to TP, and they're just like, oh, if the fight happens near me, maybe I'll go to it, but I'm not going to force anything.
Precisely.
As we see a smoke now.
TP bomb
Side of OG as a
here.
Chrono is placed by Monet with the kisses on top as Amar is in a lot of trouble, out of mana and out of life as well. A nice kill here from Aster. Although mid lane, Taiga gets jumped, but that's going to force the TP from BZM, who is in the cover of the Invis. So he TP's back just to help his comrade. So nice bait there from Ori.
I like that as Amar was dying, he tried to farm the Chen creep, just desperately trying to hit the Ice Ogre, and didn't end up getting the last hit, but that's where his brain goes to. It's like, if I'm dying anyway, I'm going to get like 40 gold before I die.
Yep, so Monet sticking with the Mask of Madness build. See if he goes for a Maelstrom afterwards. That seems to be the most common build before this tournament. As a zip in from Ori into the cookie leads to a kill onto Taiga in the top river. So Aster now with a 3-1 advantage. And when it comes to these early game, or the early game farm, or just the set of the game right now, Snay, would you favor one team or the other? Like, which team is happy with how things have progressed thus far?
I think Aster's been doing very well this early stage. They have stabilized the lanes, and they're getting kills on the enemy cores of every rotation. So I think OG needs to be careful, especially Amar. Like, there's a lot of kill threat on him. Storm and Dawnbreaker could just come bottom any time and just kind of collect a free kill on him if he's too far up.
And Misha out of the mid lane to try to push out this wave a little bit, but at what point are we going to see a little bit more aggression come from Aster? Any kind of, I mean, Monet, I assume, is just going to be farming away, as yeah, he does queue up his Maelstrom next. And well, as I say that, bottom lane, Yuragi, he has no ultimate queued right now. I'm not sure if he's holding the point. He does put it in finally, but will he live a second time? I don't think so. So maybe a bit of a mistake here from Yuragi. So now that cooldown for 190 seconds of no reincarnation.
Yeah, arguably more important than the death there is the fact that that's on cooldown.
Oh, Monet actually accidentally sidesteps the swashbuckle as BZM not able to get to the high ground with the shield crash. So Monet, now that his time walk is up again, gets the time dilation. You can see the diffusal is online for BZM, so that's gonna be pretty damn annoying. But doesn't lead to a kill for OG. But yeah, I would expect that with this Wraith King ult being down, that maybe Aster try to target him a little bit more on the next couple minutes.
Yeah, especially he's TPing under a ward. OG is doing the right thing. They're trading pressure. Aster TP top to pressure the Wraith King, and they're trying to do the same on the bottom lane. And it looks like Aster's not going to try and defend this tower.
Yep, so freebie for XXS as Baboka on the Chen, about to pick up his mech. Haven't seen a whole lot from him thus far. Less active than we're used to seeing, but will be a trade for the tier 1s like you said. And we actually have a smoke on the 2 from Aster, and it is that Snapfire Chrono combo, and Yuragi, Chrono, Mortimer's kisses to follow, and the Dawnbreaker ult just to make sure that they get this position 1, and they do so. And that ult remains on cooldown as mid lane, Ori, it's almost out of mana, but zips away, not able to take out Taiga, but the hammer from the side as XXS getting a nice Sidewinder kill there. The swash is there, and attempted TP, Rolling Thunder does go off just in time. So at the very least, OG do get a support kill, but again, 2 deaths on that Wraith King. That hurts big time.
Yeah, the Wraith King was under a really good ward by the Snapfire, so they knew exactly where his positioning was, and the fact that he had no reincarnation is just such an easy kill.
And there's another 90 seconds on this. So they could make a move again. They don't see where he TP'd to. This time no ward on Yuragi as he TP's out on the map.
Yep, and obviously they won't have that combo, the Chrono, Dawnbreaker ult, Snapfire ult. Pretty orchestrated from the beginning of the draft that we see that combo is a thing, but to see it used, I mean, that's the cool thing. A lot of times we don't see the early Chronos into anything, but you can see that they've kind of prioritized that in the relatively early stages of this game.
Yep, and it's really hard for OG to punish the fact that Aster used 3 big cooldowns, and they're just kind of farming their own jungle. They can't really make any smoke moves themselves to try to open up this mid tower.
Some mouse issues.
I think he said go. He's fine. You just need to make sure that was still working.
Little mouse running around the stage.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's not good.
Oh, pest control out here.
OG is still trying to use the smoke on the runes, and they know Aster doesn't have their ultimates. They are a bit stronger if they can find the fight.
Yeah, Taiga now has his Winter's Curse available. Getting to the high ground thanks to the Arctic Burn, but he's going to get jumped instead. Electric Vortex to start. He's going to get the Cold Embrace off, but they have enough magic damage, surely. That Static Remnant is the thing that finishes them off. So, a bit of a punishment here from Aster as they have a 7-2 lead, but not too much of a net worth lead.
Visibility.
As Ori able to take that invis.
Yeah, that was quite unfortunate. The Pangolier walked low ground just as the Wyvern was trying to do a Winter's Curse because they were smoked and they had vision advantage. It was just a little poor coordination there from OG.
All right, well, good news. Yuragi's ult is finally online again. He's got that second life, obviously wanting to get to level 12 so that the cooldown at least gets reduced by a decent amount.
And they're going to smoke with it.
I remember when this ult used to be double the cooldown, though, at level 1, so it has improved. Yeah, as you said, smoke up from 4 members of OG. Ori, well, he's going to pop it, but zips away. Taiga's in the area, though. Winter's Curse.
No mana.
And BZM with that ult is going to connect. The Dawnbreaker ult coming in, though, and a nice cookie to give Ori that extra space to get away. But it does require the services of most of Aster. The big Starbreaker coming in, but it's canceled. Because that's an XXS. Might want to try to re-engage here on the Taiga. The Chrono comes out onto 2 with the Mortimer's Kisses as well. They'll find the support to start. Elder Titan ult not enough to really dissuade them from continuing, as that is a double kill from Monet, and Seb looks to be next on the list for Aster. And Aster, again, just a great start to this game. And can they get more? Ori jumping Amar in the mid lane now. Already at half HP. Do they have a stun? The hammer coming in, and no, not able to get that Starbreaker. But they'll get the tier 1 tower, and look at these rally skeletons. Holy Jesus.
Yeah, they're giving more than double damage to these creeps.
And you can see Wyvern coming in, but no Winter's Curse. And that was a good attempt from OG, but Aster was ready for it.
I think it all boils down to the saves in the fight. The reason that Aster can come back in and, hit the Chrono and the Snap ulti is only because they protect Ori. Like, they know he's going to come back into the fight afterwards. If they weren't there to save him, there's no way they fight that. He has a DD, by the way, on Ori. Going to use it to farm.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, Ori had 300 mana, and he still had the balls to freaking walk into 5 enemies and zip out and barely survive. It's just amazing coordination from Team Aster right now.
He trusted his team on that one.
Yeah, 99% of Storm players would probably not do that. It's such a high-risk move. You know the enemy's coming, you run into them, and you're running away with 300 mana.
Yeah, Monet only 200 away from Maelstrom as Yuragi spotted out, but Ori is going to find a pick-off onto Seb in the jungle. With that DD dissipating now, we'll probably go back to farm.
Okay, so that was not a farming DD, unless you consider Seb to be a creep.
Does carry a briefcase, so has a little bit more intelligence than the average creep, I would say. But yeah, now that the Mask of Madness Maelstrom is online for the side of Aster, and Monet looks like he's focusing on getting the Shard next, so that'll allow for a lot easier Chronospheres. I feel like this is the biggest quality of life for Void. Pretty hard to hit those Chronos when your Time Walk is not exactly the longest distance. And we actually saw some crazy plays with the Shard, being able to obviously go back in time or whatever is going to see. Monet pop the Mask of Madness early. Taiga still in the tree line. There's another Time Walk, but guessing incorrectly. Taiga's going to be able to TP out, so similar to game 1, able to evade. Not this time being a hook, though. Just the right clicks of Monet.
Great neutrals items being dropped for Aster. Stormstreamer will be able to get the Growth Bow, and the Faceless Void will get the Barrigan's Blade. These are like some of the best in slots for the tier 2s for these heroes.
Over here now.
I feel like Brigand's Blade is best in slot for a lot of heroes, actually. That thing is insane. It does so much damage.
Yeah, this Pangolier is begging for it because the Brigand's Blade works with a Swashbuckle.
Gives you like 400 damage or something, right?
Yeah, it's
Aster
insane.
into the pit. They have their entire zoo with them.
It's just melting.
And it looks to be uncontested, so a freebie for Aster as the Aegis is taken by Monet. Maybe a little bit surprising it's not on the Storm Sphere, but he's going to zip on Seb, and Ori out of mana thanks to the Diffusal Swashbuckle. And Ori, he's going to get cookied to safety. Monet, not able to get anything off here as Ori looks to be just dead. The BKB pop from Amar, but there's the double man Chronosphere into the kisses again, and the Dawnbreaker ult as well. That is one dead, but BZM able to get off his shard, and a nice curse comes out from OG, kind of resetting things. In fact, taking out XXS instead. A nice turnaround overall from OG. Now they're going to find Siamese Cat as well, the position 5 Snapfire. So despite losing Amar, OG showing some life in this game number 2.
That was excellently played by OG, but a huge blunder by Monet. He needs to Chronosphere this Razor when he's linking the Storm Spirit. Yeah. Especially when he had regen room bottled. He was going to be able to have a perfect reset.
The save comes out, and again, a huge swashbuckle, no mana at all, and Aegis is down just like that. OG and BZM in particular really getting big value out of this Diffusal Blade.
Ooh, I hope Aster will be able to reset. They're making a lot of
that's a huge zip, though. They want to get revenge, and they will. So Ori able to pick off BZM finally. I mean, what do you think the reason, and not that this matters anymore because both of them have died, but what was the reason not to give the Aegis to Storm? Because typically that first Aegis, the high ground isn't really a consideration, and Storm obviously the best Aegis carry in the game, but that Swashbuckle just drained him of all his mana here.
He zipped in there like he did have the Aegis. He was really relying on the Chronosphere here to save him, but Monet, he jumped in a little bit too deep.
Oh, Ori, almost out of mana again, but a nice save from Taiga again onto Amar. That's going to dissuade Aster from pursuing this any further. BKB from Amar, obviously still there. Didn't delete it or anything. I think it's he's had one charge used already. Halberd is going to be next, so not rushing the refresher on the Razor, which we have seen quite a few times in this tournament.
Halberd, I suppose, to survive the Chronosphere, you can also disarm the Storm, which is okay. It means that if he jumps you, you don't have to just instantly press BKB and be afraid of dying to him and a solo kill.
Yeah, OG needs to be able to survive this Chronosphere because they don't have that many answers besides this Cold Embrace for this Void, but they still have a lot of magic damage coming in from Snapfire and Storm Spirit.
Vlad's now there for Baboka. So we'll see how much they want to kind of push the envelope here, although obviously without the Aegis being taken out pretty damn early into that timer.
Yeah, and I think right now the biggest difference in teamfight right now is the fact that Aster has this mech and Vlad's from on this Chen, whereas OG in their previous major, Taiga or Seb would always rush this Wraith Pack item, but right now neither of them are going for it, and it's going to make a huge impact on the fights.
And smoke on each side, but you can see based on our vision of the mini-map, there's not going to be much found unless the Dawnbreaker is the pick-off here. But you can see XXS kind of repositioning, having an idea this might be happening.
He always plays so safe on this hero whenever he's in this kind of just sitting in a lane and trying to ult into the other side of the map scenario. He's always like so far away from the creep wave.
Yeah, but this will open up Aster's opportunity to push this tier 2 tower. And of course with the Chen on your side, that's always something you have to fear if you're OG. And Ori, looks like Witchblade is next on his list. Not that far away from it right now. It's interesting to see that as a second item.
Yeah, he's just pretty much playing for the assassin build, especially with this Grove Bow. He's going to be able to one-shot any supports if they're alone on the map.
Well, the zip in, and here comes the combination. BZM just evaporates. My goodness. Didn't even need to Chronosphere.
Did they know Taiga was in the tower? Like, surely they did if they're going to commit like that.
Yeah, they have an idea. Hammer not quite hitting the mark. So Taiga should be fine unless they spot him. Ori still can close the gap. Okay, he does get off a Splinter Blast, Blink Dagger, but a zip from Ori. Taiga with a premature Cold Embrace, nice sidestep onto the Echo Stomp. Looks to be a freebie here for Aster as Taiga, just a couple more right clicks. But again, Ori out of mana now. And this tier 2 tower finally fortified, but it will be brought down, which means the outpost might be going their way, although Siamese can't get taken out now. Blink Dagger being shown from Yuragi.
This is huge for OG. Finally, Yuragi has hit his 3-item timing. He can frontline for his team with this Blink Dagger now. OG really needs Yuragi to be part of these fights in frontline and give vision because no one else can really do it on his team.
Yeah, he is top of net worth too, so even though the net worth is in favor of Aster, you know, a farmed Wraith King I feel like can actually 1v5 pretty easily.
Is this just a hero, especially with the Chrono having such a long cooldown, that you just kind of ignore in these Chrono engagements? Because they've been picking these, they've been using the Chronos a lot on these single targets. Although BZM, Blink Dagger, oh, they're gonna stun lock the Faceless Void. Nice pick off from OG, and Monet dead for 50 seconds.
It's a huge pick off. With this Desolator, they're gonna be able to get this tier 2 in the outpost control.
And the tier 2 tower going to take heavy damage, if not fall, in favor of OG. And we can see that Roche, again, that timer was so quick on consuming the Aegis that it's still not up for a decent amount of time. But yeah, that's a tier 2 for OG now. So they can try to go for an outpost if they want, though not really walking in that direction. And what's the next item for Yuragi? So he's got his kind of standard build. I guess the BKB can be considered the standard as well. And even the AC after that. So pretty cookie cutter, actually. Oh, Yuragi. Ooh. Not able to find XXS, but they will find the tier 1 tower. And Aster. I mean, that was a pretty punishing death onto the Void. They lost 2 towers in that span.
Yeah, they lost 2 tower and a lot of map control. This is great, especially the fact that Wraith King is getting close to his BKB as well. It's going to be another great timing for them to fight.
XXS, he's being spotted. Amar gets off the link, but the BKB forced onto XXS just to dodge that Wraith back. But the zip back in onto Amar, and I guess they're just going to call it a day.
Fortunately for Aster, Roshan's not going to spawn during the cooldown of this BKB.
Very even game. Yeah, so we'll find out in 45 seconds when the next Roche will spawn. And both sides can take it relatively fast, although I'd argue OG have the advantage in that. But they have to worry about that AoE team fight from Aster that we've seen so many times this game.
Yeah, Monet with the Chronosphere. That could be very devastating in the pit. He is working on his BKB. He will have it in about 300 gold. That's what Aster's waiting for. They don't want to do anything until he has that. We saw in the last fight how Monet got chain stunned, and that's going to continue happening until he gets the BKB.
Yeah, on the team of Aster right now, there's not really anyone that can frontline until this Faceless Void gets this BKB. Because Dawnbreaker wants someone else to get in first contact, and then he can ulti into the fight.
All right, next Roche, 50 seconds, so a bit of a shorter one.
Here they go, smoking up with that BKB.
And they have the timer set. They know exactly what's happening to Yuragi. Not able to actually break the smoke. He's going to get whipped, though. Aster positioning himself on the other side of the river, so kind of playing on the dire side as XXS, TPing to the tier 1 here. He's going to show himself. Of course, he can join the fight anytime he wants with that Solar Guardian. And they can see that Roche is not quite up yet. 20 more seconds.
Monet has revealed his team's positioning by killing that courier, so OG knows exactly where Team Aster are right now.
We'll see if OG try to go for a smoke play, as Roche will now come up in just a moment.
Dude, Amar just walks right in.
Yep, he's not scared. He's going to get jumped. He's going to get the bait, but nothing will come of it as the Hurricane comes out onto that fearsome Wild Wing Ripper. But Amar going to brush it off. We'll see who's first to scout the pit. Obviously Chen with a pretty major advantage having these creeps, but I don't think he's sent anything in quite yet. Another jump in, Ori, this time with the cover of the kisses. Amar taking so much damage in that Cold Embrace, though, actually with the BKB as well, so kind of ends up layering those in a way that you're not really wanting to from OG, so without that Razor BKB, Aster might find an opening.
Aster did lose their ward though, so they don't want to continue playing in that area. They want to play somewhere else.
BZM gets a nice double stomp into the Wraith Fire coming out from Yuragi, and the Blink Dagger to follow, but XXS gets off his BKB. Chrono onto 2, but a nice curse to try to counteract it. It's only half duration though, as the focus is now onto Amar without that BKB, and Yuragi still with that second life available to him. Dawnbreaker coming in, but XXS, he's going to take that swashbuckle damage. Gets off a nice Starbreaker into the blink, but not able to get out this time. So 2 kills go the way of OG. And now that Roche is up, surely that is where they're going to be headed.
Yeah, Aster, I mean, even if they buy back, they don't have any of their cooldowns, and I feel like they're very dependent on them, whereas OG, not so much. Maybe the BKBs, but they're up in 30 seconds. So they're more than happy to walk into this pit.
Yeah, right now, it seems like Aster doesn't have enough damage in Chrono without this Snapfire ulti. The fact that they didn't have it there, this Razor was able to survive even with just starting the fight with half HP.
Yep, so looks to be an uncontested second Roche for OG. And who gets the shard here? Are they worried about Yuragi's ult ever? BZM already has his.
There's no mana burn. I assume Amar will want to have it. This is a really good shard for Razor.
Alright. Yep, Amar will take the shard. It's in his backpack still. Or did he consume it? Yeah,
he has consumed it. He loves the shard. He usually buys it minute 15 if he's having a good game. But this game is a bit of a slow start, so he'll just take it off the Roshan.
Alright. How would you rate this shard, Snakey?
I think it's an A tier shard. It's a shard that you can.
Really?
It's like just shy of S tier because you don't auto buy this shard at minute 15, but it's one of the better ones that you can just buy at minute 15 if you want.
Okay. How many A tier shards are in the game in your estimation?
I have not done the math, but maybe 20, I would say.
Okay. That's what I was leaning towards too. I was going to say 20.
Yeah. Now we're able to pick off a nice courier here, and we'll zip away because BZM has used his ult. See the old Storm Ball Lightning TP to safety. So 4 minutes on the Aegis for OG. What can they get out of this?
OG has perfect vision right now, so they're going to be able to get really good fights onto the side of Aster.
Yuragi starting this off with the Wraith Fire onto XXS. He gets off the Starbreaker, healing up a decent amount, but Amar is there with the static link. The Hammer tried to buy himself some distance, but he's just getting bursted down with this right click from Amar, and the ult. The swashbuckle slows him down, and in the base they go. Amar gets the kill, and now they're going to turn this around to potentially the Void, but he gets off the Time Walk in just the last moment. He gets all of his HP back, so 60 seconds on the Dawn. And OG, obviously still with this Aegis, and it ended up going to the Pango. Obviously with Wraith King having that ult, not wanting to add on to it.
This is perfect for OG. All they need to do is right now is to choke out Aster on the map, because Aster just does not have enough damage against them, and they're going to outscale them.
Oh, Ori, he's going to get Winter's Cursed, but he zips away. They don't have the layering of the stuns here. He zips the opposite direction now. He looks to be fine. So OG not able to layer properly there.
Yeah, I think that Taiga underestimated that there's no creeps, so the cursors were going to be very short. Started the curse a little too early.
But Amar, is he working on a Satanic? Is that what he... Or is that a...
He's queued up a heart. He knows Aster just doesn't have enough damage right now. All he has to do is just build tank and try to get first contact and survive with the cold embrace from his team.
Yeah, Ori, he gets the zip in. And the initiation on the BZM, but again, not too scared with the Aegis still online. BZM, by the way, 900 from his Aghanim Scepter. And which he didn't take the talent for. Oh, he did take the 15 talent. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he went for the greedy talent, and it's paying off.
Wow. All right, so the 2-second shield crash cooldown during the ult comboed with Ags is absurd.
Yeah, these heroes that he's playing against, too, they don't want to be mana drained. If he can get a couple of swashes on this Void.
He's got the Basher, too, right? So
Wyvern's entering the Radiant Vision. He's going to get jumped.
Yep, and here comes the Dawnbreaker ult as well. Mortimer's Kisses just to make sure that they get the support Wyvern. A little bit of overkill from Aster. But now that the heart is online for Amar, and I believe I saw a BKB finished. Is that on Ori?
Yep, he's got it in his backpack right now.
Okay. Oh, BZM gets off the Diffusal Blade, but XXS with the Hammer gets a little bit of distance. Gets the cookie as well, but here comes the initiation onto Baboka. Gets off his hand of God and the mech, but it's not enough to survive. Monet and company just have to sit in their base and wait for OG to try to make a mistake here on the high ground.
Yeah, and I don't think OG is going to do that. They know they have the full map to farm. And with this Aegis, they can try to force it a little bit, but they really don't have to do that much.
And Yuragi just blinks in, gets off these Skelly boys, only 3. It's more than enough as Ori is going in as well. Starbreaker onto Amar, but again, very, very tanky. And you can see that they're just ignoring Yuragi, but he's the one that's doing massive damage to these buildings. So tier 3 down in favor of OG is still Baboka. Not online for another 15 seconds. There's the Aghanim Scepter. Well, that's a lot of damage and the end of the Aegis, but Yuragi and company not going to be too upset about that because it was expiring relatively soon. Monet looking for a potential chrono, but it's up reverse time walking instead. Definitely not going to use it on the Wraith King. Oh, the bash actually connects onto XXS. Kind of stuck in a weird spot here as Monet jumps in looking for a potential Chronosphere target. And it's going to be a wasted BKB just in a defensive measure from Aster's side, as OG still not looking to get out of the base. Amar not doing that much damage to this building, but he's continuing to try.
They've got Mortimers now. I think they're going to look to go.
Yep, we have the Electric Vortex. There's the Mortimer's Kisses with the Chronosphere on top. He actually gets Ori not quite in the Chrono. I thought he got stunned there for a moment, but you can see the disarm coming out as Void in a lot of trouble, has to time walk out and not getting any damage out at all. XXS getting Static Link with the Amar. A little bit of right-click action as the mid lane of Rax is dead, and a jump in from Yuragi, 2 dead for Aster, as OG looking very good right now. Ori with absolutely no mana, and even the Dawnbreaker comes in and gets bashed right off the bat. Triple kill for Amar, as GG is called. OG tie it up 1-1.